So tell me, what's one chapter of your life you will never forget because it changed you forever? Some of the strongest people are the people carrying the heaviest stories. Hi, I'm Deborah Omotula, and this is Life Unfiltered, a safe space where people get to be seen and heard, the extraordinary stories behind ordinary life. I believe that some of the most inspiring people are not famous. They are people we walk past every single day. So join me as we meet our guests. Joining me here is an amazing copywriter with a story that reminds us that one season of our life can change everything. Before we dive into your story, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Okay, thank you, Debbie. My name is Favor, as you say. I
Mm-hmm.
am a copywriter
Wow.
by day,
Yeah.
and off the clock, I love music. I love listening to good music, so you'd find me with a very good playlist.
Wow.
Aside from that,
Mm-hmm.
I love a little bit of adventure and mystery,
Mm.
and then I love a very good romance novel. So put me
Wow.
on.
Wow, that sounds interesting and
Oh,
fun.
thank you.
So, my second question for you is, looking back on your life, what's one challenge you went through that changed you as a person?
Hmm. One challenge I went through that changed me. Okay.
Mm.
I would say that was when I recently graduated from school, university,
Mm.
and my result wasn't ready. So for
Okay.
the first 3 months of that
Mm.
period, I had a very, very depressing stage.
Mm.
Yeah. It was very depressing that my friends literally had to find me a job. That was how crazy it
That's
was.
sad. Sorry about that.
But like I'm out of it now.
Yeah. Wow.
And what can I say? Okay. That stage changed everything for me.
Mm.
Yeah, it changed everything for me because I got to see life from a different perspective.
Mm.
Life wasn't the bed of roses I used to know from in school.
Mm.
Everything changed after school. I wouldn't say I didn't come from a wealthy family.
Mm.
My parents are well to do. But
Okay.
certain things were not coming in anymore because I was no longer in school. And I'm pretty sure everybody can relate. Most people can
Yeah.
relate to
Most
that.
people. Yeah.
So I found it challenging as a girl who didn't have anybody to support her.
Mm.
I was always indoors. In fact, at that stage in my life, I found myself wanting to do things I would not really do just because
Mm.
I was depressed and I needed to take my mind out of this. Music wasn't even coming true for me at that point.
Mm.
So that changed everything for me. That was one stage of my life that taught me a lesson, helped me grow, and like is shaping my life right now.
Wow, that's so interesting. So,
Okay.
there was something that stood out for me. You
Okay.
said that you were depressed. Like, how was that for you? Like, what exactly, how did you overcome or came out of that situation?
Okay.
Mm.
First off, I was depressed because I wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
For somebody that doesn't like just being seated in
Okay.
school, I wasn't just there. I
Okay.
was doing lots of things.
Okay.
But in my father's house, I came from this very strict home. My parents were strict. I
Okay.
barely went out. In fact, I had to like struggle to gain my freedom from them.
Okay.
So now that period of time was still me being caged.
Okay.
And because of I was being caged, I was in my parents' house. My friends from school were not there, but I had friends in at home that
Okay.
setting. But those people are people that are done with school for like a very long period of time and they are working already.
Yeah.
So I don't get to see them. I was
Yeah.
always indoors. I wasn't doing anything. My friends come back late in the night or like in the evening and they need to rest. So we barely
Yeah.
see. And then even on weekends, they still want to rest. So we barely see. I
Yeah.
didn't have anybody else talking to. I was tired of doom scrolling TikTok. I
Yeah.
was tired of everything. So at some point, I just could not take it anymore.
Mm.
I was sick.
Mm.
I was down. I was sad.
Mm.
Very sad. So please let me pause. What was the question again? I forgot.
So, like seriously, that was a lot. Like
Oh.
I can imagine, like all of us had one time in our lives when we were struggling because of we were not doing anything until we found our ground. So, were you pressured? Did you feel pressure to do anything that you know that you would not usually do? And how were you able to, just tackle that place you were in? And what's one of the most craziest thing you have done?
Okay, first off, I wasn't pressured. And I think that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
My parents didn't pressure me to do anything because they feel I was okay.
Okay.
I wasn't lacking food, neither was I lacking shelter. So they didn't pressure me. But me as a person, I knew I wasn't finding fulfillment in just sitting there. And I wouldn't wait for my school to like give me my result and then start fighting for it, because my school has this issue that they delay results very well. So now that period of time, I knew that I needed to do something. I couldn't just do it because of the kind of person I am. So the pressure didn't come from my parents. It came from me. And at that point, I found myself wanting to do something because of the old depression. I literally wanted to smoke.
Oh my God, are you for real?
Yes, it was that crazy. I wanted to smoke because alcohol was not cutting it for me anymore. I was not getting out of the depressed phase. My friends would call me and be like, what is wrong with you? You need to be yourself again. And I told them that I am trying. Nothing is working. In fact, I was begging them to give me smoke. They refused to give me smoke.
Oh my God,
that was so that bad actually. One of them had to drag me, find me a job, drag me to the interview, and now shout out to my friend, shout out to you.
Wow, that's so interesting. If someone is going through what you went through, what would you say to them?
Okay. If you were like me and you are going through what I went through as of that period of my life, I'll say 3 things to you. The first one is love yourself.
Okay.
Prioritize yourself. Choose yourself first, because that stage is actually a stage that you need to work on yourself and build yourself for your future self, because that position you are right now is not stagnant, it's not permanent. You are going to somewhere. So see yourself in that place and start preparing for that place. That was my mistake. I was pressuring myself when all I needed to do was actually build myself. So one advice to you out there now is to allow yourself grow, allow yourself learn, and prepare for wherever or whatever you want to be in the future. Number 2 is build a personal relationship with your maker. Take that time to actually devote yourself and fellowship with your maker. That's one time to actually build your spiritual life, because you're going to need it. This is a crazy world where the spiritual controls the physical, and that's a very good period, because you're going to be stressed later in the future. You're going to be very busy working your career or your business, and that period is the only time that allows you enough time to actually fellowship and commune with your maker. That's number 2. And number 3, apply actively for remote jobs. In Nigeria, I wouldn't advise you to dedicate yourself solely to a 9-to-5 job. If you find a good 9-to-5 job like me, because I'm actually happy, if you find a good 9-to-5 job, then kudos to you. But I would always advise that you go for remote jobs. Actively apply. Don't mind they don't employ Nigerians. That's a lie. We have many Nigerians that are actually working in the remote field. So I would always advise Nigerian youth to go for remote jobs. So that's all.
Well, thank you so much. Like, that was really, really interesting. Okay, thank you so much for joining us here. Like, that was really, really inspiring and so educative. So you have heard it from her. She said everything. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
One story, one conversation. I'm sure most of us saw a part of ourselves in it. Now I'll ask you a question. What's one life lesson you had to learn the hard way? Drop your answers in the comment section. I did genuinely love to read them. And if you know this story touched you, share it with someone who you know needs to hear this. Until next time, see you in the next episode. Bye.